Shalom, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Abakah HaKadosh. Double honor to all the apostles, a great millstone who through will well. Peace, love, and blessings to the brothers on the highways and byways, giving all diligence to make a call and election sure. I have that fellow Abel Kanakla coming at you once again with another lesson, Lord's will, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This lesson is edifying and also exhorting. And this is, we're going into some prophecy. All right, beautiful times, as they say, prophecy. Brothers I've been seeing headlines, brothers speaking, saying prophecy is in full motion. All right, and you see the title here, Iran's rocket launch raises alarm. All right, now whether this propaganda or whatnot, all right.
When you think in carrying the biggest bombs
see it as it is.
ever. The biggest bombs that we've ever dropped on anybody, when you think non-nuclear, and we want to keep it non-nuclear, by the way. But they did a phenomenal job. It was an amazing job, and I think that was, I was talking to Bibi about it before, that was the very beginning of the end. It ended very quickly after that. I don't want to say what it reminded me of, but if you go back a long time ago, it reminded people of a certain other event, and is Harry Truman's picture is now in the lobby, in a nice location in the lobby where it should have been, but that stopped a lot of fighting. And this stopped a lot of fighting. When that happened, it was a whole different ballgame.
I think Harry Truman, was he talking about Vietnam? If I'm not mistaken, when they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, you fact check me on that. I won't lose my train of thought. But as you can see, it says Iran has successfully conducted a test of its latest Qassad satellite launch rocket, making its first such trial since a ceasefire ended 12-day war with Israel in June. A conflict with also saw U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear-linked sites. So here it is. You people fell for it. Oh, the war is over. The war is ended. Ceasefire. America went and struck Iran. It's over with. But Iran just launched a rocket, and then yet we're gonna come back to this article, right? They just launched they successfully conducted a test of its satellite rocket launch. Now, this information comes out, was these are all recent articles posted this week. Iran doubles down on refusal to end nuclear program, ready for war with Israel. So this is going to kick off again. We just know that the prophecy written in Revelation 13th chapter and the 16th verse has to come to pass before this war, really, really kicks off like that, to the point we talking about nukes flying. All right. But if they just launched that rocket successfully and they're still enriching uranium, you got the narrative needed to basically go to war.
Mr. Foreign Minister, what is the extent of the damage to the nuclear enrichment program after these attacks?
Well, our facilities have been damaged, seriously damaged. The extent of which is now under evaluation by our Atomic Energy Organization. But as far as I know, they are seriously damaged.
Did the already enriched material survive? Is it accessible?
Well, I have no detailed information. As I said, our Atomic Energy Organization is responsible for that. They are now trying to, evaluate what has exactly happened to our nuclear material, to our enriched material.
All right, you see that? Let's see. Let me wait for this to start, and we're going to pause it. All right, it's not going to play. All right, it says Iran President Mossad Pezeshkian on Wednesday, which is today, doubled down on Tehran's refusal to abandon its nuclear program and said Iran is fully prepared for a renewed fight with Israel. All right, so again, it's going to happen again. You're not in the clear when he shall say peace and safety. Just when you thought it was over, they just successfully launched a rocket, all right? And they're still going to continue to enrich uranium. So Israel and America have all the ammunition they need, again, to start this war, which they have to, all right? There's no way out of it. It says the Iranian president, first and foremost, is prophesied. It's the will of the Most High, okay? And America's is finished. Their only out is the start of World War. That's it. It says Iranian President comments came just 2 days after Tehran's foreign minister confirmed to Fox News that Iran will not give up its enrichment program, but continues to claim Tehran is not interested in developing a nuclear weapon. U.S. President Trump says that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon, and we accept this because we reject nuclear weapons. And this is our political, religious, humanitarian, and strategic position. Pezeshkian said it in an interview with Al Jazeera. All right, so they will not back down. They're ready for another war. And they just launched a successful test of the latest Qassad satellite rocket. All right, so this is beautiful. This is prophecy. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Let's get a precepts and we'll close out here. Just to update you on these things. So, again, of course, that war had to basically die down because there's still a lot of things that has to happen. All right. And then even so, right, in the midst of that, you had just this week, for the first time, basically, America moved nukes to Britain. I believe it was Britain, but if not Britain, I know definitely they moved nukes to Europe for the first time. All right, in like years or something like that, which Russia has been warning them for decades not to do. Okay, but they placing nukes in Europe. That's a red line being crossed with Russia. Okay, so the world is the stage is set for that great and dreadful day of the Lord, man. All right, matter of fact, we're gonna come back to 2nd Ezra 16. All right, and let's get that in Malachi. Okay, Malachi chapter 4. It says, "For behold, the day cometh." All right, and we're approaching that day where we're closer to nuclear war. All right, than we've ever been. All right. Behold, it's like it. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that shall leave them neither root nor branch. Okay, so we see that stage is being set for the day to burn as an oven. That's nuclear war, man. All right, World War III, the war to end all wars. So 2nd Ezra 16 verse 35 says, "Hear now these things and understand them." And we heard them and we understand. The Lord has given us the ears to hear, man. It says, "Ye servants of the Lord, behold the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake." All right. And what's beautiful about it is prophecy. The Lord speak these things, as I say, before they happen, so you can't say my idol has said it. You can't give glory to the idol, which is why the Lord's prophet, he gives it first. And then what other book is speaking about and prophesying of World War III? the destruction of the fire to come. All right, tell us in Peter's this world. As a matter of fact, we got to get that world being preserved for fire. No, it's in Peter's. We'll search for it. World being preserved. Let's get it. Roughly paraphrasing. Yeah, 2 Peter 3 and 7. Let's get that. 2 Peter 3 and 7. Let's start at verse 3. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they are willingly ignorant of, that the word of the most high, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished, which that was the first death, the first destruction. It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. And that was the point I wanted to get. All right. This world is being preserved for fire. All right. So when we go back to verse 2 16:36, it says, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. All right. Believe not of the gods whom the Lord spake. Why? Because these gods, these other books of these so-called religions, I know right now Islam, being a Muslim is popular too among Jake. Like you. But the Quran ain't spitting no prophecies, man. Allah, believe not the gods. Allah ain't saying shit. Ain't prophesying of current events and things that's taking place right now. The Bible is the only book that's on point. So believe not those gods. All right. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And I really want to specifically hit this 38th verse within this chapter, because when people basically when they saw this war with Iran ended, old Trump struck their nuclear sites and it was over with. All right, everybody. I had people texting me, whew, so much for that war. All right, scoffing, so to say. All right. But I told them, you just wait. Just wait, you know. It's gonna brew back up again, and here we are. It says that when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth pains compass her womb, which those are contractions. So when that war kicked off the first time, that was a contraction. Now you can see that contraction is coming back again. And it's only been a ceasefire or whatever for a couple weeks to a month or something like that. No longer than a month, maybe 2 months. You know, I forget exactly, but I know it wasn't too long ago that they basically, it was a ceasefire. It was agreement. All right. So here it is, that contraction is making its way again. Okay. Because all these are a build up and a lead up. It's symbolic, using the child being born. All right. The birth pains and the contractions to Yahweh Shai coming back and invading this earth, man. All right. Descending from the heavens. Okay. This is 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not at a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it. on every side. All right. So here it is. This is where we at. Iran doubles down on refusal to end nuclear program, ready for war with Israel. All right.